Hi, Ikechukwu, can you hear me? Good evening. Hello. Starting.
Hello, good evening.
Well, now, this high chief.
Brother
Oh,
Chief Day.
yeah. Hi, chief. What's going
Anything?
on?
Just the. Come
Yes.
thank God. How you doing now?
You said?
How you doing now?
See now, you see my neck. See, just take care of your girl. I did fine. Just wire me small $1,000. Might just take care of myself this weekend. I'm good, but I can be better. Hi, Chief. You have this money. Let's not
Ah,
joke.
I'm at God though.
Mhm.
I didn't know that this gamma you don't if you're on free plan you can't download.
Oh, you didn't know. You think that's how free things is. Okay, go and pay for subscription. You don't know that.
And this
It's
thing
a free
one
thing.
yeah, I can't
Okay,
download
go and
and even editing on it was a bit stressful for the free plan.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I was able to just manage it. It's
I use one
really,
other one. Let me tell you, I use two of them, Gamma and one. Let me see the name of the other one. Just if one of them is stressing me, I use Ocean Dock. Yeah, Ocean Dock. I use that guy. I
but
just
does
switch
it
between
allow
two of
you to
them.
download without subscribing?
No, 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 no. You can't download. You just have to use it where it is, right there in their platform.
But this gamma now only one template you go use though if you not get subscription. Only one template and go allow you use. That's what I
Eh,
noticed. Yeah.
okay. I haven't tried the template. I just changed themes. I like their themes, colors, and all of that. I just use their themes. I've not tried using their template. So once I just generate the whole presentation, I just switch between different themes that appeal to my emotions. Yeah. I'm still looking for the one that I'll be able to download. That's actually an important aspect because sometimes you just want to have those documents in your own personal local system.
Yeah, you can actually rework on it and make
Mm-hmm,
so.
mm-hmm.
Or even sometimes you can reuse their template in your own PowerPoint to create a new
Yeah.
slide. It's quite
Hmm. I feel like Canva should start thinking out of the box because a lot of AI platforms are making presentation way easy, right? Making PowerPoint slides very easy. So Canva should just try to up their game because I don't think anybody wants to spend so much time. Initially, they were the easiest options available, but I don't think anybody wants to spend any time trying to tweak designs and all of that. You just want something that would come up in minutes. I hope they are thinking in that direction.
yeah, it's all about innovation. If they are seeing where the market is heading to, and they have the advantage, they have the market because
They
most
have the
of their
market, yes.
Most of their templates are free. You can do a lot of templates with Canvas free without even paying before you now got to pay, and you can download
Mm-hmm.
without paying. So they have
Mm-hmm.
the market, but it's all is the ability to understand their digital transformation maturity and the ability to get to the market as fast as most times integrating this AI into their already built database sometimes it's not that easy
Mm.
because it's not the
They
core
do have,
infrastructure.
oh, they have AI in Canva, but it's not as seamless as these other ones that we mentioned. They do
That's
have. I've
that's
used
what I'm
it,
saying.
but it's still not there yet. Like the likes of these ones that we mentioned, that in seconds you have everything almost 100% ready in seconds.
Yeah,
No,
you can
theirs are
prompt
not even optimized.
on Canva. You can prompt.
Okay.
I don't.
Mm,
You can prompt, but you type in and they'll be able to help you to design just a mock-up. More like a
just a mock
prototype.
up.
You cannot be able
Yeah.
to adjust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hi, Chidebere. Hi, Comfort. Chidebere, Comfort. Can you guys do me a favor? Can we type in the community and say, guys, it's time, hop in, join the session? I just feel like a different um a different message other than my own may do the trick. Can you guys hear me? Comfort, Chidebere. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good
Yes, I
evening.
can. I can hear you.
All right, please, please, I'm begging, guys, just help me type something in the community and say, guys, join, it's time. It's time, and everyone needs to hop in. The thing about this time is that it just moves very fast. Before you know it, it's 10 p.m. already. Let's see. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, I like that. Come, what your meme is funny. Yes, everybody come out though. Oh my. So in 2 more minutes, we're gonna kick off. Hi, Promise. Promise, how you doing?
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Promise, please do me a favor. Are you there?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay. Please, can you type in the community alerting people to join the session? Just maybe a different chat other than just things will do the trick. All right. Help
All
me.
right,
Help
no
me tell
problem.
them that it's time. They should join.
All right, no problem.
Thank you. This thing, I don't know how to use memes. The day I know how to use memes, it's over for everybody. I'm never going to be typing like a normal human being again. Comfort, I like your meme. Oh my. Is it meme or sticker? Am I mixing them? Which one is it? Comfort, is this meme or stickers?
This is sticker.
Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi. Hello. Okay, let's go. Let's go for it. Ikechukwu, over to you. Try to get everybody joining. Let's go.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Confirm that you can hear me, please.
Yes,
Yes,
I
I
can.
can. I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? I believe you are fine, right? Okay, so welcome to tonight's session. It's going to be a very quick one. I will try as much as I can to manage the time. Um, I look forward to offer value to you as well. And it's also going to be a dramatic one. I I play a lot. Most of my let me say most of my classes and most of my meetings are more of an interactive one. So I love having interactions with the people that I'm looking forward to communicate value to. So I will actually appreciate having a lot of feedback from you when I do need that. So just bear with me because there are going to be some drama during the course of this meeting. But with that being said, so we'll be looking at a very important topic, and what's that? We'll be looking at starting your first project management through this year. Um, what you actually need, which is building a system, not motivation. Okay, because why do I actually went for this topic? Most times for most of us, for people who are just transitioning, or people who have already transitioned, or people who already have their first role and the rest of it, when you are new to project management, especially someone who have just transition career, you are dealing with a lot of stuff such as incomplete information, constant context switching, high visibility work, and pressure to figure everything out very fast because you have gotten your first role. Okay, so it's not time to show the working. So there are a lot of pressures to show that okay, can actually deliver on the said job. So at that point, you need to understand that motivation will not save you on hard weeks because definitely they're going to be hard weeks. Yes, they are. So motivation is not going to save you, but rather system will. So that's why I actually went for this particular topic to actually help us to understand how you can be able to build a system and not motivation as someone who have just transitioned to project management or someone who already on his first role or you are doing your applications and you're looking forward for that congratulation message. So, like they do say, you don't prepare for war during the time of war, but you prepare before the war. So it's more like giving you an experience, giving you a roadmap that can actually set you up for you to have the best of the first experience as someone who is just jumping on their first role. So, but first of all, you need to understand something. My name is Ikechukwu Success Aka Ize. You can also call me PM series, okay? And that does that about me. Okay, I'm easygoing. You might be seeing me often with time and the rest of it. So with that being said, that's all about me. We'll be looking at what is a system because you need to understand what is a system because there's a lot of system can mean anything. System can mean laptop, system can mean, So what is actually a system? You need to understand what is a system. A system is actually a default way of working as an individual or a default way of doing things that you fall back on when things get messy. Because are things going to get messy on your first row? Yes, things are going to get messy. Well, I mean, things are going to get in such a way that you start asking yourself some questions. Are you sure that I made the right decision? So that's just that. So what are the things you need? What are the solid foundations you need as someone who is just switching career or someone who is just transitioning to be able to have your first year experience or your first year experience being a wonderful one? And what are those systems you need to actually build to be able to have that wonderful experience and be able to deliver on the promise and on the project? First, there are several systems. I just outlined only five. Okay, what are the systems you need to be able to have an easy transition or easy first through, not on motivation? Okay, because you need to understand this. I was so concerned about it. Aspire to perspire will not save your project. You need to understand that aspire to perspire will not save your project because you're going to deal with it's no longer theory but practical. It's time to show working. So for you to be able to operate at your optimal level, you need to understand you need what we call a system called a weekly priority system. Forget about what the project is going to produce at the end, but you need to focus on the current week you are working on. So, secondly, you need what we call a writing communication system. These are systems you need to put in place if you must actually work optimally, not on motivation. The third one we have is what we call personal learning system, because I keep saying this to people, even on the space I'm just coming from, learning never stops on this journey. Even the learning becomes more intense when you get that first role, because now you are practicalizing a lot of things. You need to observe that, observe and understand that some things are not actually the way they are in writing, that in practical aspect they are different. So you actually need a personal learning system to actually keep you on the track, because you will get busy and things will get going. Okay, so the next system you need to build, or you have, for you to have a solid foundation for success as someone who is just jumping on his first role, is what we call a meeting clarity system and a risk and a tracking system. So these are the five core systems you need to have for you to work optimally, not on motivation, but on system. So I will start with the first one, which is a weekly priority system. Have you understand what actually a system means? Now, this weekly priority system is more like your anchor. Is where everything is going to start for you, because you need to understand this. The real problem this system actually solves is this: without a priority system, people who are new to project management react all week. What do I mean by react all week? What I mean by this is actually the Slack message detects the day. You know, that time you just wake up, you open your either team, Google Team or Slack, you see that message that enters, and your day already start running. Okay. And as a new PM, these are things you're going to face. Without a priority system, meeting consumes attention. Once you get that message, what's the next thing? You're rushing to the office. Okay, let me get a daily stand up. From daily stand up, technical team meeting. See, everything feels important to you. If you don't have a weekly priority system, everything feels important to you. And you see, by Friday, you are exhausted, but you are very unsure what actually moved forward. So that's why you need this weekly priority system. Um, what is this weekly priority system? This is what I do, and I've experimented, and it gave me a very wonderful result. What was that? Because once you jump on that project as a new project manager, you begin to understand that project management does not end on Friday. Even on Saturday, you're still a project manager. People who are coding have gone for Obule, but you are still trying to figure out your blockers. You are still trying to figure out your risk for the next week, because you are not a leader, and the success of this project is dependent on is dependent on you. You are not the coach of the team. If the team doesn't perform well, they will hold you accountable. So, so this weekly paralysis system, what does it look like? What does this system actually look like? First, all you need for you to have a system that I termed weekly priority system is, first of all, you need what we call a priority data center. Me as well, I do have it. Is one place where you outline your weekly priorities. This is more like you can choose any document as a project manager, because at this point as a new PM, a lot of things is going on. So you need to prioritize things that needs your attention for the week, because you cannot do everything at the same time. So you need a data center, a priority data center, where at the beginning of the week, where you place your weekly priorities. You might outline 3 or 4 priorities. This week, this is what I'm going to focus on. So even when someone is actually suggesting something for you, because a lot of suggestions, a lot of change requests will come during the week, you are not emotionally reacting, but you are not guessing, but you are deciding. Because you know that your decision matters a lot. As a new PM, your decision matters a lot. So this is how this weekly priority system looks like. You have what we call a priority data center. Okay, then you have what we call a shortly weekly outcome. So when I said inside this your priority data center, you are not actually writing tasks. You are having a short list of outcomes you are looking at for the week. It might be two, it might be three, and that does that. And how do you come up with these outcomes? It's very simple. At the beginning of the week, you ask yourself what must move forward this week and what can wait. And you tie each of these to a real outcome, not a task. What do I actually mean by this? This is the where some persons do get this thing wrong. And this is it. I'll be now you now give an example. Okay, instead updating Jira, attending meeting. These things are task, not outcome. So if you actually want to write inside your data center an outcome for the week, you might have something like aligning stakeholders on Q1 scope. It might be something like unblock API dependencies. So that means that particular week, this is what you are focusing on. You might at least 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but out of the 5, you cannot execute all of them in that the same week. You not choose 1 or 2 and cycle on them. So that means for this week, no matter what is happening, this is what I'm focusing on. If only these things are the only things that move forward in this project this week, I'm okay with other things waiting. That's what I mean by this short weekly outcomes. So you now answer this your system, priority system. We have what we call weekly lesson learned moment. See, there's something I normally say, and I will say it. I say you cannot improve on something that you don't track. That's it. If you don't track anything, you cannot improve on it. That's why you need this weekly lesson learned moment. As an individual, not even as a PM, you need it. It's a weekly reset to decide what get attention. Okay, this week, what are we able to do? What are the things that we are looking for the next week? What are the things we have to focus our attention on next? Why do you need this thing? See, developing this systematic approach will, first of all, as a person, as a new PM, it will enhance your efficiency and ensure that you are consistent with your delivery when it comes to value. Remember, project management, as a project manager, you are required and your task is to deliver value consistently. Not that you deliver this week, next week you no deliver. Do you understand? And this thing gives you focus. So you are not trying to dabble based on messages that come here. You have something you are focusing on for the week. And what does this thing actually do? Why is this priority system so important as someone who is jumping on the first row? See, it actually gives you a defining weekly project value. So you can actually track yourself on how you're delivering value. A clear weekly priority assists you and your team in understanding their responsibilities and their expectation. So for this week, by Friday, you know what to expect. And you know the people that are executing the task, and you know what to expect from them. You know the people to hold responsible if anything goes wrong. That's why you need this weekly priority system. If you must, this one is not today. Today I'm not too feel well, or my village people find me come, all those ones, or I had issue with somebody and somebody is affecting my mood. You have to deliver value consistently. Then why is this weekly system important as a new project manager? It helps you because it gives you what we call a collaborative effort in your project team with real outcome. Even your project team over time begin to observe that you are so precise on what you are doing. You are not working based on emotions. You're not working based on what someone just requested at the moment. Okay, let's start doing this one because this stakeholder requested it. No, you guys are precise on what you want to execute for each week. So, and this thing fosters collaboration among team members, which will lead to you guys accomplishing more outcome, not only task. And this thing also optimize your emotional responses. See, this is what nobody tells you, and this is what I came to experience on my first road, is that at some point you would like to check out emotionally and otherwise. Because the meetings becomes overwhelming, the work becomes overwhelming, the they say project management is they don't do anything, they are just they're just there for a fizzy. You begin to realize that that's a lie. It's not a physics that you are here for. That your mental state is at stake. Do you understand? And you need a sound emotion for you to make decisive decisions that will not affect this project. That's why you need this weekly priority system. Because this thing helps you optimize your emotional responses, which will at the end of the day enhance your productivity and reduce emotional confusion. Because as a, sometimes they are calling you here, they are calling you here, stakeholders want to see you, teammates are complaining. So let's ask a question.
Yeah, Shalaye, hear me. Yeah, hear
Yes.
me see. Yeah, hear me. Yeah, she's asking what
Shall
is
I?
FTZ, right?
Yeah, what's a
Shalaye.
season?
Okay,
Yeah. Who wants to
okay,
help out?
okay. Okay, let me just answer her. I think let me just a fizzy, that's what a fizzy means. You are living on you are living soft life. You know what you mean? Soft life is that you don't have much to do. You're more your job is just show up, schedule meetings, the people that are cooking cook the food, like the people who are coding code the food, and your own is okay. Are you guys done coding? Okay, let's check it. There's no just more be like being relaxed, like there's nothing much we are doing. Yeah, this is what people see project managers as. These are paid. They see project managers as people who they don't go through the stress of coding. They are just there for you know, they are more like facilitators. But in reality, that's not what it takes. The success
Okay,
and
thank you.
you are welcome. So the success and the failure of the project lies on the shoulder of the project manager, not the people coding the app. Oh. This is the reality we come to understand. And leadership comes with a lot of emotions. Comes with a lot of emotions. So what's the next system you need? The next system you need is a system called the meeting clarity system. So this is the reality that you come to understand on your first role, and you're so prominent over time that you jump on meetings and meeting starts, but you sit in the meeting trying to keep up instead of driving outcome. Meeting that is meant to last for 30 minutes is going for 1 hour. But at the end of the 1 hour, nothing reasonable has been concluded done. Nothing have been decided done. No outcome yet, no decision. Which most times this thing leads to rework and confusion. Even most of your teammates will stop showing up for meetings because at the end of the day, there's nothing they are leaving the meeting with. This is a reality you are going to face on your new role. That's why you need this system, meeting clarity system. This meeting clarity system turns time into progress. This is the real problem this meeting clarity solves. Is that, see, new PM often sits in meetings from the beginning. They want to hear every problem that's happening on the project. This one has a blocker, okay. This one has a blocker, okay. But at the end of the day, what are we leaving this meeting with? No decisions are made. Responsibilities is unclear. Conversations are from one conversation, they move to another conversation. At the end of the day, when you're done with the meeting, you begin to ask yourself, what did the technical team lead say self? And this thing create what we call a follow-up chaos and erode your confidence. Because sometimes you begin to look at it when you start asking this team lead question again after the meeting, you begin to believe it now seems to seem as if they don't even know what you are doing. You be JJC, like you're just jolly just come here. You don't know your left and right, and this thing erodes your confidence over time. That's the problem this meeting clarity system solves. It helps you to turn time into progress. And what does it look like? Now, this is what it looks like. No meeting should start without a clear purpose or a clear agenda. If you are going to jump on any project as a new PM, have a system where every meeting you lead or influence have a clear purpose, a desired outcome, and a visible context for the next step. What does that mean? See, some persons might say you are trying to control, you are trying to be mean, but you're not trying to be mean. You are shaping your team and you are shaping your meetings. And how do you do this? You don't start any meeting without outlining this. To this is what I have learned over time. You don't start any meeting without asking this question: why are we here? I remember when me and my mentor, that's Josephine, we start meeting, we start gisting. We will gist 1 hour, we are still gisting. We will gist, we will gist. By the time we finish gisting, you see that we have 30 minutes left. At the end of the day, we will not do anything. Are you saying it? Because why? We don't have a meeting clarity system in check. Yeah, did we had mentorship? Yeah, we had mentorship. But anything come out, something come out, but it's not, we didn't really do much because we took most of our time in gisting. So don't start any meeting as a new peer without asking this question: why are we here? And what do we need to decide? Is very, very important. That's what I mean by having an agenda. Because during the course of the meeting, a lot of things will happen. Discussions will drift. From one discussion, they will now move over to another discussion that has nothing to do with the current problem while you guys are having the meeting. So having a clear meeting system will actually help. Oh, what would it help you to do? When the conversation drifts, you can bring it back to the purpose of the meeting. That's what it does. And that means at the end of the meeting, you have a clear outcome and a clear decision and a summarized point that you can send out to them. And over time, you begin to see that people begin to associate you with clarity, even your teammates. And this will build reputation for you fast than any other thing. That when they are joining your meeting, they know they are not coming there to come and bubble themselves. They are coming there to say what they want, what is happening, and what's the way forward. Everybody begins to give you that boundary. Everybody begins to give you that respect. You need to understand that people trust, your team trusts PMs who bring clarity, not PMs who come to gist or who come to spend a lot of time in meetings. Meeting lasting 1 hour, no outcome. You are remember as a PM, I keep saying this. You are judged by the value you provide, and you're able to anchor, which means you are judged by the outcomes, not by attendance. Your meeting is judged by the outcome of it, not by the people who attended. And having this system actually helps you to build credibility fast and trust fast as a new PM. Even though you are new, your team will begin to trust you. Your team will begin to look at you like someone who maintains the decorum of the meeting, and they cannot come there and do anyhow. And at the end of the meeting, when you're closing the meeting, you now have some things that are certain. Someone who has ownership of what is decided and the deadline and what next to do. And what's the next system you're going to have, which was not run on motivation. And the next system you're going to is what we call a written communication system. This one will save you and your job. If you this one, then say you said they didn't say. You need to understand what you need. This written communication system is very, very vital. This is the real problem this written communication system solve. It reduces mental load. What's the mental load here? The problem it solves is that verbal updates always rely on memory. Okay, don't worry, just tell me. I will remember when I get to my desk. I will be able to, type it in. You will forget. There's a lot of things going on already in your head. That blocker they told you, that vendor that's meant to supply, have not supplied, and you are calling him, he's not picking up his call. You wrote email, he's not replying. The stakeholder say you have meeting next 15 minutes, and you are telling your teammates, don't worry, let me know what's the problem. Once I get to my desk, I will write it down. You will forget. Memory is fall under pressure. That's why you need a writing communication system. And see, this thing will save you when things go wrong. Because when things go wrong on projects, my dear, things will. Things will. Now, just matter of time. Things will go south. And people will remember conversation differently. It's no longer it's now the. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why you need a written communication system. Because see, this is what this system looks like. Let me not bore you. This is what this system looks like. A written update system. What does this thing simply mean? Now, this is a system where you communicate in writing consistently, predictably, and simply. That means if there's anything you want to tell me, write it here. Now, I will still show you how to set up this system. Write it here. What do I say you should write it here? It gives stakeholders this trust that they know where to look and what to expect. When they want to find any information, they know where to look and what to expect. I will explain better. Now, simply choose one channel for your update and pick a simple format and stick to it. What does that simply mean? It means this. Now, you can decide to use Google Doc. You can decide to use whatever document you guys are using in your organization or the project you're executing. But make sure you have a one system where people can write what they want you to know, what change, what the blocker they are facing, and what next that happened. Instead of coming to chat you or tell you, project manager, PM series, this is what I'm facing. Go and write it. Go and write it. Someone sent a message. Okay.
It's an auto message. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So instead of them, see, don't build a system where people can easily come and tell you on your first floor that this thing I'm facing this blocker. Put up a system where they can write one channel. They'll just go there, write what they are facing, the challenge they're having, what blockers and what next have been done. Do you know why you know this? I'll tell you why. See, this thing will save you a lot of stress. This will give you control over the narrative and protect you and reduce misunderstanding when the project goes south. Who said this? Who said that? Which day where was it written? You can simply go to the document where you're the one that did this, you're the one that did that. And this thing will save you your job, it will save you your reputation, and it will save your project. Don't joke with this written system communication because a lot of things will be said and a lot of things will be forgotten. And the next system you need, if you need to run, not on motivation, is what we call personal learning system. Now, this is the reality that nobody talks about. In this whole tech space and the rest of it. First, you start. I actually categorize transitioning into tech into four stages of growth. The first stage is what we call the learning stage. The second stage is what we call the creating stage, and the third stage is what we call the perfecting stage, and the fourth stage is what we call the freedom stage. You need to understand this. Now, some persons were able to skate through learning stage, which means that's when you're just more like a newborn baby. You are ingesting a lot of information. You are trying to find your ground. You are doing this. You are eager for information. You want to you want to know everything. Like you are just like a newborn baby. You're so innocent. You don't know what is Scrum. You don't know what is Lean. You don't know what is Agile project management. So anywhere there is information, you take it in. You don't sieve it. From there, you move over to, as time goes on, you move over to what we call the creating stage. You are becoming a bit confident. You understand some project management discussions, but you are not that good yet. And you start looking out for opportunities. What is opportunity? You start applying for roles, you want to get into the space, because this is where you start taking up some responsibilities to get into the space, get to know some persons and the rest of it. And this is the reality, and you land that your first role. The reality does on you that if care is not taken, you might get stuck on that phase. Because why? Your personal development begins to feel the heat. You get busy. If you don't have a personal learning system, you begin to feel overwhelmed with that job. You you don't read, you don't personally develop yourself again, you don't watch videos that can take you from the stage 2 you are to the stage 3, which is perfecting. This is why you need a personal learning system. The learning doesn't stop because you have landed a job. This I keep telling people who are close to me that project management, as I go deep, I begin to understand this is deeper than deeper life. There's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of things you don't know. You're just feeling confident with the ones you are exposed to. This journey far. And if you are not taking this personal learning system serious, people will outgrow you. People will outgrow you. This is the real problem this personal learning system solves. You need to understand that in project management or in tech, learning never ends. Learning is endless. But this is where the new PMs get it wrong on their first rule. They try to learn everything at the same time. It doesn't work that way. You will abandon this tech of a thing and go and look for another career because it will seem as if it's something that cannot be done. The second mistake they make is that they stop learning when things get busy. When things get busy, yes, but you need to understand trying to learn everything at the same time or stopping to learn when things get busy because you have landed down your first role, both of these two things will lead to frustration. It's just a matter of time. The knowledge gap, the skill gap begin to show. Now you go tell yourself, say, I think I don't reach, I never reach here. Oh. There's more still at front. And guess what? The people that you're executing their project, they are watching you and watching what you are doing. Your teammates are watching you, but you don't know. See, what does this system look like? Let me not bore you. What does this system look like? Now, this personal learning system, this is the way it looks like. This is what I do. Like I said, take my word for it. I'm not that a serious person, but you cannot outbeat me. I'm not a serious person. No. I don't take life too serious, but you can. When it comes to knowledge, you cannot outbeat me. And that's the edge I have when it comes to some certain things. I never stop learning. If I dey finish this one, I'm jumping to the next one. That's what keeps you at pace. Because you need to understand this is how you set up the system. Weekly block. What do I mean by weekly block? See, every week, just choose one dedicated learning block each week. You don't need to learn everything. Okay, I can remember when I wasn't good at project charter, project planning. I cannot learn all the same thing at the same time. Each week, focus on that area where you know you're not yet good at. If you need to get somebody to mentor you, do that. If you need to get materials, pay and do that. Focus on that one. Just choose one, not everything. Don't just choose one. Just choose one. Just one. Even if it's one topic, just choose one. You dedicate on it. Just pick one concept that will help you this week that you're not know that you're not confident with. One topic at a time. You just learn enough to apply it. See why I will tell you why you need this system over time. When you pick one thing that will help you this week, you learn just enough to understand and apply it. And because you're already in your job, you apply it immediately. When you use it immediately, you can be able to reflect on what changed and what does not change. And there's nothing that builds confidence than this. Forget whatever you have read and the rest of it. By the time you do it yourself, see, confidence grows when learning improves real work, not when knowledge piles up. This is what people don't know. If you like, you can read pin box back to back. You say 8 is out now. You read 7, 8 is out now. You go and read 8 back to back. My brother, if you don't go and get a project, a real life project, get into it, bring that pin box, take one topic, digest it to the point that where even if you are sleeping, they call you, wake up, wake up, wake up, this project is on fire. You can be able to implement to solve a real work. You're just piling up knowledge. And you need to understand this. Nobody says this, but I just have to tell you the truth. This is it. Sometimes some people might be like, okay, yeah, but you know the truth and you know it. Because what will this thing do for you? There's something you need to understand. Do you understand? Learning now becomes part of your workflow, not an extra burden. Once you have this personal learning system, you begin to see that learning becomes part of your workflow, not something that you do because um you feel left behind. You see that it's something you do naturally. It's something that your level of knowledge and your what like your pace is in line with your career growth, because you're not even stressing about it. People are wondering how you are doing it, but you understand that you are not stressing yourself, but you have a personal learning system. As a new PM, you need this because that your motivation will fade. It's just a matter of time. And that's why you see a lot of persons. I will just highlight it before I move on to the next, which is the last system. They jump into tech skills. The motivation is high. Money is not the problem. Over time, you don't see them anymore. Do you know why? As over time, they begin to understand that it's not about graduating from this boot camp. It's not about learning this phase of the project. There's more to this. And they feel that they're already busy with what they are doing at the moment. So they cannot inculcate it with what they are doing because they don't have a personal learning system. So that's why you need this personal learning system. I hope I'm communicating value. The next thing you need is what we call the risk and blocker system. If you are just jumping on a new role as a new PM this January, and this is the I just picked up few, and this is the last one I'll be talking on. Then I will open the floor, and we can have some conversation. See, you need to understand this risk and blocker system gives you that edge to stay ahead, not busy, not busy. Now, a lot of new PM end up being busy, but the project still fails. Why? Not that they are showing up. They are doing what they need to do, but at the end of the day, you see that this project is not moving forward. And before you know it, there's a lot of risk that creeps in, and the rest of the project begin to go south, and the rest of it, and they begin to wonder where did I actually got this thing wrong? You need to understand this. This risk and blocker system, the real problem is solved is this. Most new PM issues don't appear, most project issues don't appear suddenly. They have been there. But what's the problem is that new PM focus more on tracking what task. Why risk grows quietly in the project. Like I said before, in their mind, they are facilitators, they are coordinators. Their role is to coordinate these people to do their task, meet up the sprint deadline, all those things. But subconsciously, they are not taking into account what might derail this project. For the fact these people are completing this task, that means everything is well. So they focus on tracking work, but not what could derail this project. And this is oftentimes you begin to see that when these things becomes obvious, I mean, when the risk becomes obvious, it becomes difficult to curtail. It becomes very difficult to curtail. Though it doesn't mean that this risk were not visible from the onset. It means this risk were visible early, but those that they were not documented because attentions were not paid to it. If you must succeed on this your first rule, see, you must have a system where you track risk and blockers. Forget organizational risk register. As a PM, you need to have that. And what does this system looks like? I'll just outline it and explain. Now, just a simple list. And what I mean by a simple list is just a simple list that contains risk, dependencies, and blockers. Have your own personal list. After you have given them the risk register, sit down, have your list where you document your own risk, dependencies, and blockers. Because this is you're not more like a watchman. Your eyes is on that list. See that list. Any day, any week you comes to office, you must review it. And how do you build this list? How do you build this list? You build this list during feedback, during planning sessions. Okay, you could simply ask yourself, what could actually delay this project? What could actually delay this? Who are we dependent on? Like I was explaining earlier now. We are executing a project and we have a standard vendor we need to get some materials from. Apart from, okay, we know in risk register that this product might delay and the rest of, we have mitigation plans. But what are the aside from the one we have in risk register, what are the things that can happen within this time frame of this procurement that we have not looked into? You write it down, you review it weekly. Well, you know what this thing will do for you as a new PM? See, strong PMs are valued because you know why? You know why? Those people at the top, because these people are valued because they provide foresight. Because by the time you have this risk and blockers and system where you track and review regularly, you can actually see risk even before they even occur to the project. And this thing shifts you from being reactive as a project manager to being proactive. And there's nothing that saves your project than that. You don't wait for the risk to happen. If you don't want for the project to derail, you see the derailing before it happens, and you can begin to checkmate it on time. But this is where the challenge comes. Most times, as a new PM, you think that being silent actually helps you feel safe. Okay, everything is fine, nothing's happening on this project, but it doesn't make you feel safe. Why? Because for the short time, it makes you feel safe, but it will damage your credibility during the long run. And this is why we ended. Now, I would like you to know this: the team trusts project managers who surface problem earlier than project managers who actually react to problems or risk or blockers when they have already occurred. Okay. So I would wonder about what are the key success factors for first time project managers. If you're jumping on a new role, new PM don't struggle because they lack effort. They struggle because they lack structure. So if you must actually build a system, consider these systems and not your motivation. And because these systems will help you reduce stress, improve clarity on your first project, and help you build confidence, even if you are just transitioning. And it will help you build them early. And it also help you support you long after your motivation has fed. Because after that motivation of getting that job, after some time, you begin to realize that the motivation no longer keeps you going, but the system will keep you running. And this is why I'll be saying, thank you very much. And I hope I'll be able to help you to know how to run on system and not on motivation. And that's just that for today. Thank you, and let's stay connected. Bye for now.
Okay, this one is back to back. Oh, we're not even taking any breather. Thank you so much, Ikechukwu. This was really good. This was really, really lovely. I know you're a very busy person, to say the truth. Thank you for finding time to come to the community to share your knowledge with us. I'm grateful, and I'm sure every other member of the community is grateful. So, without further ado, let's dive into questions. Patrick, you have your hands up.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, so quick one, and I'll draw a few comments. While Ikech was talking, I was just laughing. Um, he's a comic guy. So I was just laughing because all he was saying, I learned through the hard way. I wish I had heard what all he said, as in before I jumped into PM. My boss really, as in, taught me the wrong way, and I learned through the hard way. So, so my question is this: all he has explained. For instance, someone jumping into a role, and you are assigned like 4 projects to manage or 3. How do you shuttle between 3 of them? That's my question.
Okay.
Over to you. I'll chime in, but over to you, Ikechukwu.
Okay, in a situation where you are executing a project, but at the same time you are executing a multiple project, right? That, if I'm to get your question right, that's what you asked. How do you actually be able to execute it and still be on track? Now, like I said, all you need to know is to understand these concepts, okay? Because a system that works for one project can actually works for two, three, four. But at this moment, you need to be able to optimize it first. Because why do I say you need to optimize it? Now, let me give you a for instance. I don't know, but I don't know the kind of project. Let me say you are working on a project. I don't know if it's construction or so, or
No,
me. Okay,
IT
IT
project.
in the same company. Are you there?
Yeah, yeah, that's in same company. Yes.
Okay, let me get you right. When you say for project,
Okay, let me give you an example now.
okay,
You have an enterprise project, for instance, FCMB is trying to build a data center for their MPLS network
okay,
in Lekki. That's one project, MPLS network, everything. Your company is going to handle it.
okay,
As now, our company is going to handle it. That's one. You are the project. I'm the project manager. That's one part. One project. The other project is um, um, GTB is having issue with their 737 application, and the company need to come in and check all the application, what is really causing the issue. So there will be like migration, application integration, and the rest. So that's one aspect. Then the other aspect is MTN. MTN is trying to do network inventory of all their enterprise network and network devices. Just inventory. You're not deploying anything. You're just taking inventory of everything that is running within all the MTN switch, the whole of Lagos. So, so these are okay. Let me say three projects running concurrently. How do you apply all these things you said to as a
okay,
new PM? You've jumped into it, and all this thing
okay.
comes up.
Okay, is very easy now. Like I said, it's more like I understood what you were even asking me earlier on. You need to understand the concept, like I said. What's the concept? What are the three systems like I listed for here? Now you need to do is pick up each of those projects because each week, each of those projects you are being expected to deliver a value. Am I right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Now let me say you are let's use the one of FCMB. Okay, let me say this is Saturday or Sunday and I need to resume work on Monday. All I need to do is bring up my let me say my weekly priority system. Regards to FCMB, what are my core goals to achieve in regards to this particular project? Okay. Then I'll also look at the other projects. So you just have to prioritize it. Then pick each of those projects, what you are looking for forward to that particular week in regards to priority system, weekly priority system, because you cannot actually listen to me. I will be honest with you. If you don't do it that way, you will lose your mind. There's a lot of things will be demanded of you in those different projects. So you prioritize your weekly goals or weekly outcome in regards to each of those projects first. Then when it comes to your meeting clarity, because you already understood the concept for each any of the meetings you are going in with regards to those projects, you already have your meeting agenda and meetings are being timed. Am I right?
Yes, they are being timed. Yes.
Yeah. So, but you cannot make the best of it if you don't have your system, which is okay. Why are we here? What are we deciding? So that means someone cannot come and start telling you what is not in alignment with what is agenda of that meeting. So that's why I said when you asked me that first, since I said you need to understand the concept and just implement it in those multiple projects. Then our Oga at the top can now continue from where I stopped.
Trust me. Trust me. You make I had to raise my hand so that
Thank you. Thank you.
chairman, you tell me when to talk or not. But you've made very valuable insight. The systems you talked about are non-negotiable. What I want to add is two more things. You want clarity and you want priority. Priority, one part of it is what Ikechukwu has talked about. The other priority is in terms of your MVP. If you have three projects, it's like cooking three food. You're cooking rice, you're cooking beans, you're making soup. Those are three projects that you have concurrently. The truth of the matter is the timelines that you've given for these projects are not really feasible to deliver all of them. So you need to deliver MVP. What is MVP? Minimum viable product. So you need to prioritize. If we're cooking jollof rice, what is the least requirements that we can deliver in jollof rice? We can only deliver white rice. That's fine. For the stew, what can we deliver? We can deliver tomato. So you need to be clear on what your delivery is. Clarity. So you need to tell the stakeholders is, we're cooking jollof rice. This is what we can deliver within the limited time possible. So you need to be clear on your power. You need to prioritize. If you're cooking jollof rice, you need to know what is non-negotiable in the requirements and communicate clearly to stakeholders. Because if you're cooking food and you communicate that just in this food I'm cooking, what within this time frame, just expect there's only white rice that will be available. That sets, I have clarity on what the expectation is, and I'm not expecting the entire jollof rice. I just know that what I'm expecting is white rice. So clarity is one thing. The second thing is MVP, because you have limited resources. Remember, you're working with 3 different teams in this case. And the 3 different teams, you don't want to get them overwhelmed. So you also need to understand capacity planning, capacity and velocity, meaning that you need to know the strength of your team and what they can deliver at a particular given point. So you are not being delusional about what the delivery will be. So 1, clarity. 2, MVP. You can't deliver a project end to end. That's a lie. If you, when you tell stakeholders we deliver 1 year later, 8 months, that's a lie. So deliver your MVP, and then based on the systems Ikechukwu has talked about, you need to be clear on your system. How do you guys prioritize your tasks, manage your tasks, processes? There's a whole, so he has even done a whole lot of talk. So 3 things: clarity. 2, prioritize in terms of delivering your MVP. Every project delivers MVP. The Facebook we're using today, years ago, it was not like this. It was a scrappy looking thing and we're all happy about it. But each day, as the years goes by, Zuckerberg is adding 1 or 2 things, looking like it's beautiful. This Josue I say was not this fine like this. Years ago, it was only MVP. And so each year I'm adding to the MVP. I'm looking more sweet. That's how it is, literally. So, but good question, and thank you, Ikechukwu. More questions.
So, Patrick, have your
Thank
question
you.
been answered?
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to ask more, but let me allow others. Just I wanted to add on to the listing to ask Josephine. Yeah, because there are some people that they plotting to ruin your projects from the get-go. So I wanted to ask how do you handle them when they come into meetings?
Okay, I'll send that to Ikechukwu. He's the chairman of me. I'm a student, so I'm learning. So Ikechukwu, oh yeah,
No, don't
chairman,
pass that to
answer.
me. I think it's Rahim. Rahim is here.
Rahim,
Okay,
stakeholder management. Yeah, but go
stakeholder
ahead.
management. Okay. Okay. I think, yeah. Yeah, Rahim is here. Stakeholders management. All right. Let me just chip in. Okay, in such situation, is like you said, definitely in every project there tends to be conflict, and there tends to be people, what we call, you might call them negative stakeholders, whatever. So, but most times that's why you need to understand your stakeholders management. That goes a long way of you understand their influence on the project and their interest on the project and the impact they have to make and the rest of it. So once you understand that, you also need to understand where they are coming from, what their concerns are, because I have this belief, aside project management, that there's no action without a reason. As a person, if you do anything to me now, I first of all try to find out why, because the why is what will actually help you to know how to go about with this person. Because like what we say, you need to understand why they are acting the way they are acting first. You need to understand their influence on the project for you to manage them. Second, and thirdly, you need to be able to get to have that, what do they call it? Uh, 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 I can't remember now, but I'm trying to find the right word. Like, first of all, you get to know why they are doing what they are doing. Second, you get to understand who they are there and their impact on the project. You understand the role they play, because whichever role they play is very vital. Because you cannot actually implement or solve a problem you don't know. Let me say, like me now, I'm more of a subtle and a vocal person when I want to contribute. And I'm saying this is how we should do this. And you're saying, no, 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 because you're the project manager. and I feel that this thing is being neglected, my opinions are being neglected. Are you getting my point? Now, I might react in such a way that you might start seeing me as a negative stakeholder. Are you getting it right now?
Yes, I'm getting
But
it.
you don't understand where I'm coming from. What was the reason behind that? So what I said, when you understand who they are, you can be able to negotiate with them. That's what we call project management, call having a one-on-one talk with them to understand what's their reason, what's the problem, their concern, and you can be able to now review and be able to implement a solution to that. That's just it. It's just purpose management. That's all I can
Uh,
say, man.
Thank you very much.
Purpose
Answered.
management is key. Communication, which is part of what he said, is key. So I don't know who's going to teach it. I think I'm going to push it to Ikechukwu to teach I think it's Vincent, communication. So there are ways to go about communication. There are principles of communication, knowing who to speak to, who to speak with, who to speak through, and who to speak for. This is also an add-on to what Ikechukwu has said, but somebody's going to teach this in this community, because I want to focus on aspiring PMs and just bringing them up. It's
And how
part
to
of
draft
how
email,
to,
oh, please. Oh.
yeah, it's not, no wala. So just less than a minute. So thank you guys, thank you everyone. There's a session happening tomorrow. It's on AI automation. AI automation. Guys, the truth of the matter is, in PM of today, AI is, you cannot deny it. If you like, don't agree, but you cannot deny it. We need AI. AI will take away the admin work as a PM and help you focus on leadership. This course is what you will go and pay for. Serious dollar, serious money. I'm bringing it to the community for free. Please tell everybody to join don't miss it. Don't miss the class. So thank you guys. I love you everyone. Thank you, Ikechukwu. Please stay tuned, and again, take care of yourself and be good. Bye for now.